Cornacchioli?
Cornacchioli.
Cornacchioli.
How would you like us to spread it?
Just John Corn's fine. That's what I do all social media.
C-O-R-N?
C-O-R-N.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a 90s band.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hey Leaderboard, I'm here with John Corn, who is the creator of The Take, the virtual reality game where you play hide and go seek. So John, tell us a little bit about the game, where your inspirations came from, and things like that.
So The Take's really a two-player game, two-player VR. And the reason we're doing this is because there's not a lot of ways that people can interact in the real world while still interacting in VR. So we thought VR is really expensive right now. People only have one headset, they only have one computer to play on. So how can we engage multiple people in the same space? So you share one headset as you play the game. Players take on roles at competing spy agencies in a Golden Age comic book setting. And one player is able to set up a scene where they hide a piece of intel and set traps, and then the other player can then take on the headset after their time's done, put on the headset, take on the competing spy agency role, look for the intel while trying to avoid the traps. So it's kind of like a cross between fun games we like to play and also just, you know, something quirky and different that you can do in VR.
Now, the aesthetic is very unique, very sort of comic book 1950s. Where did that come from? Why did you choose that?
Yeah, so when we first built it out, everything was just boxes in primary colors, and we kind of liked it. So we just kind of wanted to keep the color palette very simple. Also, like, it takes a lot of rendering power to do everything in VR. So we wanted to save on memory any way we can. So there's like no shadows on anything. Everything's very simple shapes. And we thought if we give it like a cool kind of simple style, which is easy to render, we can get away with it. And we did. Also, it feels good. It feels good to be in a comic book.
Very good. Now, you know, I'm not a developer, and I know most of our audiences aren't developers, but could you tell us a little bit, in a simple version, how was developing the game? What are some things you didn't expect to happen, or how you changed things?
Yeah, so we developed this. We only started in September, and we released on April 2nd, or at least on our first platform we did. So,
and that's pretty fast, right?
Really quick, yeah. So I mean, the market's constantly changing, especially with VR. So we're really like, you know, trying to get things out the door very quickly and iterate. We kind of just took stuff from what we saw and what worked in other games, and then we just kept iterating it and adapting it until it worked in our game. But we also tried to keep it really simple. You know, not like almost 90% of people who have been here today playing, or even yesterday, haven't really tried VR. So we just like simplified everything to the point where it's like you pick it up and then you move with it and then you hide it. And it's all like very intuitive human interaction. I mean, you open up a door, it's literally grabbing a doorknob and opening it. So we just tried to keep it as, you know, one-to-one parallels with the real world as we could.
Now you launched basically yesterday almost, live where people can go and buy the game and things of that nature. Since you've been at PAX, what are some of the surprises? Like, are you seeing people do crazy things you weren't expecting, or is everyone kind of moving in the way you expected them to move?
So it's been a mix. You know, like, we definitely seen the same like hiding spot over and over again, but then occasionally it's like we've seen stuff people have never done before. You know, they're like wedging items in between other items and building their own structures to like hide stuff in, and being really innovative. And especially when we've had a few people come back already and play multiple times, and you see how their playstyle changes like 2 and 3 times against the same person.
Okay, so I'm going to probably play against Jesse, who's behind the camera right now. What would you tell me to beat him? And Jesse, take out your headphones so you can't hear these tips.
So every time you play, it's a little bit different. You know, it randomizes a few different things. So like there's flower pots that have hidden compartments underneath. Maybe. The plants get removed and they might have a hidden compartment in them. And there's also floor tiles that are randomly generated every time, and you can remove those and no one ever notices them. There's paintings with holes behind them, randomly each one. So I would say use one of those random spots, because people, even their second or third playthrough, they don't always realize they should be checking those spots.
Good tips. So what's the reaction been like from the audiences, people playing? I mean, we're looking at this line here. There's tons of people here. So what are people saying about the game?
A lot of people are saying this is what they want in VR. They want to be able to engage with the other person, because, you know, since VR is so new, all the time, if any of your friends have VR, you go to their house and then you play their VR system and they sit there and watch. So the fact that you can engage and play with them, it seems like this is what the market wants. So that's really cool, and it's great that we can do, you know, provide that.
All right, we're here with Arden Winter, who has been playing The Take, and you brought some of your friends over to kind of see the game. Tell us, what did you think about it? What were you thinking before you went in, and what did you think after you came out?
So I really like VR games in general, even though I don't have any VR systems at home. But I really like the idea of this kind of new format that you can innovate in, because there's only so many exciting things that you can do with a rhythm game or a shooter, whereas VR is kind of this new space to explore. So I really like these kind of simple concepts, right? You're just playing hide and seek. You're just hiding this object, and you're setting traps, and then you're trying to find it. And so I find it really satisfying when you can put on this headset and be immersed in this little tiny world that's just this one room, but it feels like you're there in a more complete way than if you're just sitting and playing, even with good immersive headphones on. And I really just like the kind of fast-paced party game kind of atmosphere. Like I can see myself getting a Vive, playing this game with 10 of my friends, and we just take turns, laugh at each other, messing up, and not being able to find it. It's really fun.
Now, I do have one more question. As an indie developer, what's the difference between developing as an indie gamer, indie developer, and a AAA title?
You don't get a steady paycheck. That's the biggest difference. Our team's 3, roughly. All 3 of us are here. Also, I'm the only programmer on this team, and I also do the animations. I don't know any other programmers that do animation work, so it's cool though, because we get to do everything, and also it's incredibly frustrating because we have to do everything. Good and bad.
So with your skills, why would you choose indie life over going for a bigger company?
I get to make my own rules, I get to make my own game. As a programmer, I would have really no say at a AAA company, because it would just be like, oh, this is what we're making. Here I have a lot more say, because, it's only 3 of us that own the company and run it, so I have 30% of or 33% of the vote all the time.
Give us the 411, where can people get the game, what platforms is available on, and what's coming up in the future?
Sure, so it's on Steam right now. It's out for the Vive. As of May 1st, we should be out for the Oculus, and on the Oculus Store as well as Steam. Later in May, we'll be on the Windows Store and Microsoft Mixed Reality, and then sometime this summer, we'll be on PlayStation VR.
Thanks, John. Make sure you guys go out and get the game, The Take. It's amazing. It's one of the most unique VR games here at PAX East this year. Make sure, if you haven't already, you subscribe to the Leaderboard, and then click that bell icon to become part of our notification squad so you know whenever we upload. And John, I always have this trouble getting our audience to understand why they should click the bell icon to become part of our notification squad. What would you tell them?
So you get updated on the videos all the time? I mean, I honestly do watch all your videos. I watch.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's like the Labo one where you guys are talking about cardboard, because cardboard and the Switch, my 2 favorite things.
Right.
Love cardboard.
All right, thanks, John. Keep it here to Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.